Wow, there was a lot of stuff that happened over the weekend, and we got a little bit of an update. Okay, we got two of the big stories, but there's like a backlog of like a week's worth of content, and you know what, only doing 3 videos a day. I thought that it might be tough to, you know what, eventually I'd start to run out of topics to talk about on a daily basis, but fuck no, that's definitely not the case anymore. Thanks, Joe, I guess. I'm the only person who's benefiting from the Joe Biden administration, because God knows the fucking mainstream media is not doing their job, and hey, it's just us independents who are out there trying to provide some information out there, because oh boy, he's very good at that. So we talked about this, I think that went up Saturday, yeah, early Saturday. All of the illegal immigrants who were under the bridge, and people were trying to figure out where the fuck did they come from. It turns out most of them are Haitian. Okay, so that makes a whole lot more sense considering what's happening to them now, but there was about 12,000, maybe more than that. That's just what it was swelling to as of Saturday morning. So consider it to perhaps be a little bit of an undersell by the time that everything gets all said and done. But these are Haitian immigrants, right? They're escaping like legitimate fucking tragedy, but there are other stops along the way where they could have stopped before they came to America. So again, not necessarily saying that they're doing the right thing, but they're trying to flee a country that is currently in turmoil because the president got assassinated, got hit with a big fucking earthquake, and who knows what kind of horror has been brought by the Clinton Foundation onto Haiti over the years. So, okay, they're probably fleeing some pretty scary shit for a multitude of reasons, but now, all of a sudden, because these were some of the immigrants that Biden said, no, you're not allowed, we just want different brown people. We don't want Haitians and we don't want Cubans, people who are fleeing communism and actual tragedies. No, we just want those guys from the Triangle and the Central America, and we want Mexicans, and we'll fly them. And if you guys leave your family, we'll go get your family later. But you guys just come on down. Make sure you vote blue. We'll give you an amnesty and shit like that. You fucking corrupt cunts. Anyways, Biden administration begins the deportation flights to Haiti as illegal immigrant crisis brews in Texas. Everybody is up in arms over this. Okay, I had a little story that I was gonna tack on this, but this fucking segment is gonna be massive. So yeah, the mayor of Del Rio's like, where's Biden, where's Harris? It's just the administration who's making moves, because Joe, I don't know, I think I haven't seen anything that he's done today, so I'd imagine he's probably still playing with fucking mega blocks out there in Delaware. So who knows what the fuck he's doing. And Kamala Harris is getting crowd sweetened for a fucking coin toss that she's doing. Like, nobody likes these people. Nobody fucking thinks they're competent either, but that's the show closer on this segment, so stick around for that. Anyways, so the Department of Homeland Security, just, you know, the DHS, eventually, you know, enough people were starting to poke and prod them. It's like, hey, do some border security. Okay, fine, eventually. We'll begin to expel single adult male or illegal immigrants. Well, that's just discriminatory, who have entered the United States in Del Rio, Texas, where the immigrant crisis has been building and being stored away under bridges. Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz told Fox News on September 19th that single adult male will be expelled. What if they just identify as female, though? Then that would really just send them into a NPC shutdown. So maybe they should try that. Will be expelled under the federal government's Title 42 program, although most family units who have crossed the border illegally will be processed and released into the United States with a notice to appear in immigration court, which, what, 2% of people actually show up for? Yeah. Remember, guys, the Supreme Court reinstated the Stay in Mexico program, which they all came across. Get this one. Even though they're Haitian immigrants, they came across the southern border, which is shared with Mexico. Huh. Yeah. Oh, we can't get it because we haven't made a deal with Mexico. So, yeah, they just crossed over. You can't just fucking send them back. Representatives for Customs and Border Patrol and the DHS didn't respond to requests for comment by press time. Ortiz said a September 19th news conference that deportation flights sending some, just the men though, single men. Okay. Illegal immigrants back to Haiti have already begun. Yeah, we've seen that your fucking chartered flight program has been a rousing success. They will be removed and they will be sent back to their country of origin. More than 10,000 illegal aliens have congregated under and around a bridge in Del Rio as they wait to be processed. Yep, I'm sure that it won't be, oh my god, I don't want to be thrown back. Don't worry, you're just a part of our family now. Okay, cool. So I'm sure that those chartered flights are going to be scantily filled, to say the least. Anyways, so in light of this new discovery, and I don't know, what, do they have fucking streaming service on their cell phones that they got at the fucking border, or what? Illegal immigrants rush from Texas camp to Mexico to avoid deportations. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah, after they get all of this stuff settled up, don't worry, they can just hang out one of the fucking border towns that are right there, and then after all of that shit gets done, they can just, you know, cross back for another time, and then they can hopefully get into one of those cages, and some of those rooms have freed up once they, you know what, just start to process people and send them about the country. Hey, remember guys, we got an election coming up in a couple of months, so if you just do us a real solid, we might just extend your court date out. Acuna, Mexico. Some of the thousands of illegal immigrants have amassed under the Texas bridge in the United States, going back to Mexico to pick up supplies or avoid deportation back to their home countries. Haitians and others were witnessed Monday crossing the Rio Grande River to enter Acuna, Mexico, as they consider their options following the U.S. crackdown on illegal immigrant camps under the international bridge just north of the border in Del Rio. Fennell, a Haitian who has been living in Chile for 3 years, so a Chilean. Okay. Was one of the immigrants who went to Acuna. He told Epoch Times that he was stocking up on supplies, including water and fruit. Again, I don't care about his fucking sympathetic tale. He's a man who lived in Chile, who has residency there, or at least he has some sort of a home there, and he's still trying to illegally cross into the United States. Just for the fact that, yep, he was born in Haiti. He lives in Chile. Let's not fucking get this twisted, okay? Yaneth, 32, whose husband is Haitian. I don't necessarily think I'd be too far off by saying they have similar heritage, because that's her pictured right here, by the way. Also expressed concern about being deported. No, they're going to process families, so you guys are going to be fine, even though you're just working age people, so what the fuck are we doing here? She planned to venture back to Del Rio to get her family, including her partner. Wait, what? Her husband, but she has a wait, what? No, are they just confusing words? That's weird. Recounting a harrowing journey from Chile, Yaneth. Again, is she from Chile and her again, these are Chilean fucking illegal aliens. Okay, let's not get it twisted. Jesus Christ. But that's all right, because, over 24 GOP governors call on Biden to meet and solve the U.S. southern border crisis. Again, you know, not doing anything about it, but, Biden, you need to go down there. Cool, it's a nice fucking platform to run on, but if you guys don't do anything. In a joint letter to the White House on Monday, 26 Republican governors requested a meeting with Joe Biden to consider solutions on the ongoing crisis at the southern border. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey and Texas Governor Greg Abbott led GOP officials. Those are the guys who should be leading the efforts, and New Mexico normally would, but you know what? Hey, they're, for whatever reason, a Democrat stronghold. That one doesn't make any fucking sense to me, but that's just how it works out now. Because they're like, geographically, they're in between Texas and Arizona, and I understand Arizona's going in through a massive influx of Californians. That's not recently, that's just like over the past decade and change, but why is New Mexico, of all places, but whatever. But yeah, anyways, Ducey and Abbott led GOP officials in an effort to end the uncontrolled number of illegal immigrants entering the United States. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster, posted a letter on his Twitter account, writing that he was proud to join 25 other governors to request a meeting with the president. I understand, right? Because South Carolina is nowhere near, like, there's several states that are between them and the southern border, but this affects everybody, okay? Because all of these illegal aliens, they're getting shipped across the fucking country, right? They're just getting sent out. Oh yeah, don't worry, make sure you come back, even though you'll just go and fucking live somewhere else if you have some fucking family that lives up in South Carolina, or if you think you can get a fucking sweet gig over there. That's not too terribly far, depending on which side you crossed over, but it's going to affect everybody at one point or another. The border is out of sight and out of mind on the Biden administration. No, Kamala's looking after it. Don't you guys remember? Biden put her in charge of that because he could think of nobody who was more qualified to do that. I could think of at least 45 people, but that's all right. Not one of them, though, could suck a meaner dick. and the negative impacts of the reckless open border agenda can no longer be ignored. Remember when open borders, that was a Koch brothers proposition. I combed my hair with a stick of dynamite. The governor stressed the damage that months of illegal crossings have caused, and wrote that Biden's border policy has instigated an international humanitarian crisis, spurred a spike in international criminal activity, and opened the floodgates to human traffickers and drug smugglers, endangering public health and safety of our states. Yeah, exactly, because this is going to, not even just from an economic advantage, this is going to disenfranchise literally thousands, if not millions of voters, because without making too many spicy claims, I think you guys can figure that stuff out, because you guys could remember prior to 2020, what was the biggest concern out there with not having strict voter laws? It was busing people into polls who may or may not have legal identification. Okay, Project Veritas was very good at pointing that stuff out. So, hey, remember, eventually, we'll get back to regular life. Maybe, I don't know. But all things considered, we'll eventually get back to a point where that's still going to be a very, very concerning issue. And especially with the numbers that we're seeing month over month, 200,000 plus border interactions. And we don't know how many people successfully got through. So that's just 200,000 people plus caught every month since Biden's taken over. So you think that number's going to slow down anytime soon? They don't go down there and they don't fucking deal with it. And they just keep pushing it off. Like they said there, out of sight, out of mind. That's actually true. I can't believe that. Fucking GOP governors actually got something right. The governor stressed the damage in the months of illegal crossings have caused, and wrote Biden's border policy has instigated an international humanitarian crisis. There's a lot of countries affected. Spurred a spike in international criminal activity, human trafficking, drug trafficking, everything you can think of. Good thing Obama's not in charge, because he would have just, you know, hey, you guys, you need to go back, and we'll give you lots of money, and we'll arm you as well. And Eric Holder will end up taking the fall for that. Yep. Cool. No questions from the media. I appreciate that. They cited the fact that apprehensions are up 500% from last year. Wow, what's the difference this year over the other? I can't quite think of it, but it's huge. And this surge of entry is bringing with it criminals and drugs that are impacting all states. Yup. Customs and Border Patrol recorded a number of total encounters with illegal immigrants to be over 200,000 for the month of August. Yes, and July as well, and June, and May, and April. You know, hey, we've been reporting on it over and over again. It's not fucking dropping anytime soon. It just keeps being steady and slightly going up all the fucking time. This letter comes as thousands of illegal immigrants from Haiti, Cuba, and Venezuela are pouring into the Texas town of Del Rio. Again, I'm a little bit more sympathetic to the Haitians and the Cubans, but this is just temporary asylum, okay? You'll eventually have to fucking go back, so don't get too comfortable. And Venezuela for, yes, again, similar reasons to Cuba, but still, this isn't your home. Oh, good, they at least have a little blurb here. Democratic Del Rio Mayor Bruno Lozano has called on Biden and Vice President Harris. I didn't know he was Democratic, but it really doesn't matter, because there's a lot of elected officials that are Democrats for that area of Texas who are like, hey, Biden, can you come fucking do something? And this is just the latest dude to call him out. Called out Biden and Harris for failing to make an appearance in the town as it battles with an overwhelming illegal immigrant crisis, and has left the Border Patrol agents struggling to process thousands of people. Yeah, it should be very, very easy. You just take a big net, you just drop them on all of them. They're all under the bridge, so this shouldn't be that difficult. You take them, and you just throw them back over the border. Problem solved. More than 15,000 illegal immigrants have entered the United States in recent days and have taken shelter underneath the bridge and the border connecting Del Rio, a Texas town of about 35,000. Wow! A city of 35,000 people. And 15,000 people are just outside on the fucking border of that city. Oh my... Could you imagine? Okay, I live in a Grand Prairie. 70,000 people live here. That would be like 30,000 and change, okay? That would be like that many people just chilling out in fucking Claremont. That would be fucking ridiculous. If you don't know the area, Claremont is just like a stone's throw north from here. Just a little suburb, little town. But I couldn't fucking believe that's ridiculous. And yeah, no, they're just not doing anything about it. But you know what? Ilhan Omar, you know what? The brother fucker has a great idea on how to handle this. Just make them all citizens. Yep. Pushes for Biden administration to ignore parliamentary ruling on path to citizenship and grant amnesty to immigrants. Stunning and brave. Can they live in your neighborhood, Elon? Do you have any more family members that need to be married off? Representative Ilhan Omar on Sunday urged Democrats to ignore Senate parliamentarians' ruling that lawmakers could not track on a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, i.e. illegal aliens, law-breaking motherfuckers. There's a legal path to get citizenship. It's a bitch. I've looked. You shouldn't just be allowed to fucking trounce over and be like, oh, please take pity on us and just allow us to come in. Like, I can speak a little bit of Spanish, you know what, hey? If I spend some time outside, some of that native blood really comes through and it makes those cheekbones pop. But if worse comes to worse, you know, hey, if this election here today doesn't quite go our fucking way, I might be taking a look. But yeah, that's just fucking brain dead. It really is, from Omar. It's like, oh, just let them all come in and just let them all stay, because they'll all vote for me, right? It doesn't really much matter. We've seen the tapes from Project Veritas. You just go and fucking get your people to go fucking collect up the votes, and they just if they're blank ballots, you just help them with filling them out, right? Completely 100% on the level too. Oh yeah, and by the way, oh yeah, because there's a fourth wave and all that shit. Legal aliens do not need proof of vaccination because they're intending to stay. Okay, then why do you release them into the interior of the United States? And why are you not adhering to the stay in Mexico policy that got reinstituted and got overturned by the Supreme Court? Okay, but they're not intending to stay. Okay, and that comes from the White House. That comes from Jen motherfucking Psaki. That comes from that fucking bitch with a Soviet hat and that Chucky doll complexion. Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch? The White House conceded, whatever. They concealed their true intent. Monday, they were not requiring border crossers to show proof of vaccination, even though the government requires proof of a vaccine or a negative corona test for travelers into the United States. Yep. If you break the law, that's all right. Okay, anything that's like super unconstitutional, if you like break a law at the same time, they both just kind of hit, and that's the only way that we get through vaccine passports and showing your papers. Maybe, don't know. Seems to be how it works down there, down south though. When reporters asked about the apparent double standard on vaccination requirements, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki argued that legal immigrants and migrants crossing the border were not intending to stay in the United States. Okay, well, people just trying to hop on planes and, you know, just trying to go to fucking Disney World for the weekend, they aren't intending to stay in Florida either, so there's a little bit of a hole in your logic, and hopefully it's soon to be accompanied with one in your head. They're not intending to stay here for a lengthy period of time, she said, referring to the migrants. I don't think that's the same thing. It's not the same thing. Should have been everybody in unison after you hear the customary, because everybody's jaw would have hit the floor. Nearly 15,000 migrants, yes, mostly from Haiti. I don't care about that because we've already been through it. Thanks for recapping. On September 10th, Psaki admitted that there was a double standard for migrants crossing into the United States and American citizens working for private businesses with over 100 employees and Biden's administration vaccine mandates. That's correct, she said when a reporter pointed out the double standard, and then just moved right along because everybody is too stupid to ask the right fucking question. You guys don't follow the rules, huh? If people like your San Francisco mayor, who we'll get to in the second segment, because of course we have to have a fucking coof update because this shit just keeps getting fucking more bonkers and bonkers. If you guys don't have to follow your rules, you just keep implementing, why do we? Start asking that and start fighting back. Anyways, there was a big old Justice for January 6th riot, or Justice for January 6th. That's for the kids who were being captured, or, well, basically illegally fucking detained, right? They're getting thrown in solitary confinement all over trespassing, right? And Drew Holden, he has a very, very detailed list of the different fear merchants who are out there just trying to create some kind of sense of unrest of what's going to be happening, or what happened at that rally, and you're just supposed to, you know what, fear all of these people who are going to be there, and it was going to be insurrection 2.0. Well, It really wasn't. But as you can see here, like, you got CNN, you got renewed fear of political violence grips Capitol Hill ahead of right-wing rally. Oh my god. What about ex-FBI official says law enforcement needs to take upcoming right-wing rally in DC very seriously. See fence surrounding Capitol Hill ahead of rally. Organizers of Saturday rally in DC downplays concerns of violence as officials ramp up security. It's just out of hand at this point. And then you have right-wing media downplays planned rally at Capitol. Yeah, because everybody was saying this is a fucking setup, okay? So everybody stay away from the Capitol because nothing good is going to happen from this. This is just unneeded fucking publicity. That didn't stop MSNBC though. We got CNN and all their shit. How about, yeah, the big M, law enforcement on high alert ahead of DC rally because 100 national troops, or National Guard troops got activated for what could have been at best 700 people turning up. It was far less than that, by the way. 2020 loser Trump, heart with right-wing. What? I don't get this at all. Like, stop trying to speak in emojis. 2020 loser Trump's heart with right-wing protesters at DC rally for criminals. I'm sure the next page on MSNBC was something about the justice and the fucking reconciliatory nature of Black Lives Matter protests. Whatever. We could continue to run this down, but it's just all fucking fear and trying to preempt the total fucking nothing. And goddamn it, they were going to try to go down swinging because if there was no like actual grassroots violence that was going to erupt, they were sure as fucking to try to create something. Y'all remember the Q shaman? Yeah, that might be his kid. I don't know. See, he got a Trump hat and he got the coonskin hat and he looks real scary. How about these guys who definitely aren't law enforcement individuals? They definitely don't have, like, guns in their pockets. They definitely all don't have the same fucking issued sunglasses and the same military compliant haircuts. No, there's nothing to see there. Or what about Capitol Police reportedly detained undercover cop at a rally for January 6th political prisoners? Yeah, no. Oh, somebody has a gun there? Oh, we didn't quite have everybody on our list of different Fed ops that were going to be there. And yeah, they had a picture of the badge that they took a look and seen. And then they escorted him off the off of the rally grounds there. He was never handcuffed. He was never detained. As the video showed, after they figured out that this guy was one of them, the Capitol Police, because they were, you know what, ready for this one. They were really waiting for something to happen, hurry up and happen. They were all out in their fucking riot gear, so they had their shields up, trying to make sure that nobody, you know what, hey, got a little errant camera in there to photograph the fact that there were more fucking press and undercover police officers than anybody else at this riot. Police and media appear to outnumber justice for January 6th protesters on Capitol Hill. That sucks because, you know what, they had a good message and they have a good reason for wanting to protest this. It just made no sense to go to the Capitol to do this, okay? There was no reason for this rally. It was just an optics bomb from the outset, so the fact that, like, maybe 400 people turned up in total, maybe, it just goes to show you that the media, it was just like, okay, just a detour into pop culture for a minute. Okay, you guys remember there was that one asshole kid who fucking shot up, what, Dark Knight Rises screening, or Dark Knight Rises? Yeah. Dressed as the Joker, he had dyed hair or whatever, and then as soon as the Joker movie was coming into theaters, media was trying to stoke it up as, oh my god, some incel kid is going to go in there and he's going to shoot up a cinema. Oh my god, that's definitely going to happen. It's going to happen, right? Even if we need to make it happen. Nothing happened. Even though there was a machete attack at the premiere of a Frozen 2 event, but hey, that doesn't need to get coverage either. Or somebody trying to save everybody from the abomination that was Amy Schumer's train wreck tried to shoot up there. But hey, I feel like the people who survived the shooting and then had to see the movie ended up suffering more in the long run. Police and media appear to outnumber justice for January 6th protesters on Capitol Hill. Law enforcement officers and members of the media appeared to outnumber the protesters. No shit. Everybody said, don't go, okay? Do your own stuff. Have your voices heard. Just not at this fucking obvious Fed op. Only a few hundred people attended the event, according to video footage and photos. U.S. police confirmed to the news outlet that between 400 and 500 people showed up, including themselves. Several arrests were made by U.S. Capitol Police, the agency said. Can you verify any of that? In a Twitter post. Cool, even more official. Including one after someone spotted what appeared to be a handgun on a man in the crowd. That motherfucker right there. Like I said, he wasn't handcuffed, and he was only escorted off the premises, and that was it. So, yeah, he was arrested. Sure. 2 individuals in a vehicle with a Louisiana license plate were arrested on September 18th with an extraditable warrant out of Texas. Probably, I don't know, had expired plates and didn't realize it or something. Who knows, a Capitol said. One individual was accused of possession of a firearm. Yeah, it was probably another Fed. And other was accused of probation violation across the nation. What a fucking dud. But like I said, they have good points, okay? Subject to the same torture. Family of January 6 protesters claimed deplorable DC jail conditions. Yeah, like I said, okay, the entire rally was just not the smartest idea in the world, but they have good points. Family members of January 6 protesters who are or have been incarcerated at the Washington, D.C. jail shared disturbing accounts of alleged mistreatment by authorities during Saturday's Justice for January 6 rally. Last night for dinner, they were served 4 pieces of white bread, a cookie, and a packet of tartar sauce. A woman claimed who went by Kelly. Kelly is reportedly a girlfriend of Jonathan Mellis, who was among the protesters who entered the Capitol building on January 6th. Remember, they've been in custody since January 6th. It's the 20th of September. All for trespassing. All for trespassing. Like I said, they got a good point, and this is completely and utterly absurd. I think America needs to become very well versed in the treatment of these men. It's human rights. We are talking about it. It's completely nonpartisan. Yeah, it is, but orange man bad. You have to remember that. Kelly went on to read a letter she was written by a mother of the jailed protester. According to Kelly, the woman's son allegedly shares a wall with her boyfriend in jail and is subject to the same torture. The woman reportedly sent the letter anonymously to the rally's organizer, Matt Brainerd, due to fear of retaliation. I just got off the phone after speaking to my son. He's a January 6th detainee in the gulag of DC. Well, hey, not even being hyperbolic. Over the months, I've heard of the horrors these U.S. citizens and veterans are being subjected to. The letter allegedly reads, according to Kelly. What's with all these weasel words, okay? It's probably what the fucking letter says, okay? Who knows who these people are, but at the same time, that's what's fucking happening. Today I found out that some more indignities forced upon them. He told me he's not allowed to shave or cut his hair. It's been several months and he has had no shave or a haircut. What the fuck? He's lost his job, friends, and family as in the process of losing his home. He's denied visits from family. His jailers treat these men like scum. He's absolutely no presumption of innocence. Arizona congressional candidate Jeff Zink also spoke at the rally. He and his son, Ryan Zink, were at the Capitol on January 6th when the protests got out of control. Zink claimed his son only filmed the protesters and was not part of the chaos, though he is facing charges of physical assault, trespassing, and damage of a federal building. Zink said his son was incarcerated at the D.C. jail for 6 weeks before he secured an attorney and was released. A month and a half. Physical assault, trespassing, and damages to a federal building. Okay. That seems fair, doesn't it? Obviously, right? So he is out of prison, and what he told me, what happened inside there was in fact that he had cells with black mold in the corners, and that he was not allowed to see his attorneys or family members. He went as many days as 5 without shaving or showering, so it's not really that far of a reach to think that 7 months, depending on what hole these poor fuckers are stuck in. Again, how many arrests happened at the Black Lives Matter riots over 2020? Not even a third of what happened on January 6th? Yeah. What did the big man have to say? Well, in an exclusive interview, Trump calls September 18th rally a setup. Obviously, okay? Like I said, they got good points, but it was clearly a fucking setup. GOP Senate should fire disaster Mitch McConnell. Again, where's the lie? In an exclusive interview with the Federalist on Thursday, former President Donald Trump called for the Senate Republicans to fire Mitch McConnell and elect a new leader. Yeah, Cruz, Paul, Hawley, Mike Lee, Tommy Tuberville. We could keep going, but there'd be 5 that I'd start with. But knowing these fucking stupid assholes, it'd be fucking Mitch McConnell. Or, I'm sorry, not Mitch McConnell, Mitt Romney. What's the difference, right? Unloaded on radicalized left-wing Democrats. Again, where's the lie? Blasted former President Donald, oh my lord, he blasted himself. No, just kidding. He has Russian hookers to do that for him, if you still believe the Steele dossier. No, President George W. Bush as one of the worst presidents ever. Yeah, there was a string there of just really incompetent leaders, so you know what, that's fucking fair. And criticized current President Joe Biden's grossly incompetent handling of America's withdrawal from Afghanistan. No, we don't talk about that. That was like weeks ago at this point. Trump also called the planned September 18th rally at the U.S. Capitol a setup, and said media would use it as an excuse to bash Republicans regardless of the outcome. Should we go back to that Twitter thread? Orange man bad, Republicans radical. Meanwhile, what's your take on Afghanistan? It was an extraordinary success. Yeah, sure it was. Afghanistan is one of the worst things I think I've ever seen in our country, Trump said. If you lose the young people we killed in the that was killed in the bomb blast, it's so horrible. It's a horrible situation. What Biden is doing is grossly incompetent. It's a disgrace, the biggest disgrace we've ever seen. We won't go through all of this because it is a fairly beefy interview, but we gotta get to some of that Bush bashing. Boy, it feels like we're all the way back in the early 2000s, but that's fine. 45th president also teed off on former President George W. Bush, who used his remarks on the 20th anniversary. I still can't believe he said that, but whatever. On America to take a thinly veiled swipe at Trump and many of Trump's supporters when Bush claimed that there were children of the same foul spirit that led the 9/11 hijackers to kill thousands of innocent American citizens. They're trying to say that Al-Qaeda trained fucking terrorists are the same as that fucking boomer who put his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk. The same level of tragedy, okay? Was he just like, was Bush just sitting at home thinking, oh, the humanity, and picking out a new fucking country in the Middle East that he wants to invade? Bush was a disaster getting us into the Middle East. Again, number 45's got it right on the fucking dot. He's the one who got us into the quicksand of the Middle East. He didn't win. He didn't know how to win. Ow. I think he goes down as one of the worst presidents in history. Bush now goes around lecturing everybody about all sorts of things. He shouldn't be lecturing anyone because he's the one who got us into the mess in the Middle East. And it's been 20 years since. It's been obliterated, and it's probably in the worse shape now than it has been because of him. Yeah, that's a fairly fair criticism. If it would have just left them fucking do their shit, especially Afghanistan, that didn't make any goddamn sense. But oh, they harbored the most terrorists, I think. What's that? Did I hear Iran? No. That's Afghanistan. It's Iraq. What about Qatar? What? Sorry, more about Afghanistan? Yeah, exactly. When Bush left the presidency, his approval rating was in the low 20s. Yes, it was. And don't worry, we got some very spicy details about Biden, and not an approval rating, something a little bit more pathetic. I don't know how he was that high. Low 20s. I don't know how he got there, though. He was terrible. Everybody hated him. There must have been something wrong with the poll. Trump also didn't mince words when he was asked about Senate Minority Leader, for whatever fucking reason, Mitch McConnell, who has been the leader of the Senate Republicans since Really? Holy fuck. I didn't think it was that long, but I guess. I think Mitch McConnell has proven to be a disaster. He's not good for the Republican Party as a leader, and I wish I wouldn't have endorsed him. Senate, yeah, you should stop trying to take your endorsement advice from the same people who are on Mitch McConnell's fucking payroll. I'm just saying, Trump, biggest criticism of Trump, the people he puts around him are pretty shit. So if you're going to fix that for 2024, that'd be a big fucking improvement, okay? Because there's a list of good people that you have around them, but they're vastly outweighed by the amount of fucking grifters and neocons and the think tank types that you keep around you. Trump DeSantis 2024. I think Mitch McConnell has proven to be a disaster. He's not good for the Republican Party as a leader, and I wish I wouldn't have endorsed him. The Senate has to make a change at some point. I don't think it's acceptable having him as a leader. Yeah. And then he shits on Democrats, but it's a day that ends in Y. Let's get to this the very interesting Biden poll, okay? Only 49% think Biden is Less than half of people think that Biden is mentally stable enough to be president. That sucks. That's true, but that sucks. Only 49% of registered voters think Joe Biden has the mental soundness to serve as president, a Sunday Fox News poll revealed. Take it with a grain of salt. Again, it's a very inflammatory question by... you and I know that Fox News ain't the fucking Fox News it used to be not but 10 years ago. After Roger Ailes pieced out, it's just become kind of centrist, center-left talking points with just the obvious outliers of Tucker Carlson and maybe Sean Hannity. But outside of that, it's just a boomer central. So you hear Fox News and all of a sudden, oh my God, conspiracy theory. Yeah, it's like, no, not really. Respondents were asked, do you think Joe Biden has the mental soundness to serve effectively as president or not? Dun, dun, dun. Well, 49% said yes. 48% said no. Wow. When respondents were asked weeks before, between September 7th and 10, only 49% said yes, and only 45% said no. Okay. Handing Biden 3 more points of less confidence in his mental soundness on Sunday. I think it's fairly obvious, okay? All the press conferences, the very, very few that he actually has, they're not really press conferences. They're more just scripted speeches that he attempts to deliver. Eventually gets, the big points. But what they've been becoming lately, his body language is definitely lacking confidence. Okay, there's a lot of face grabbing, face touching, slouched shoulders, hunched over, and then doing that weird whisper thing a lot. That's just weird. That's just a guy who doesn't have control of all of his faculties. But again, if you can stomach it, or at least just put it on silent, watch a recent Biden press, not a press conference, a press event, speech. There we go. And you'll find those exact same things happening. Okay, you might be able to pick up on them as well if you do them for sheer entertainment value. But outside of that, there's not a lot to gain there. And again, the clock is ticking. I'm just thinking it's going to be, well, whatever it would be. Just mark your calendars. January 21st, 2023. Number 47 rolls through. Just fuck everything up now, doesn't it? But hey, I'm really hoping that Biden does pull through and has a successful 4-year term, because I want to see the return debates between Trump and Biden. Boy, that will be golden. I can't wait for it. But if we just hurry up and get over this insanity, that would be great. But we got to talk about the COOF next, because there's a whole bunch of other stuff that we want to talk about. But this video is going to be, I'm just taking a look at the timer. It's another beefy boy. I never set out for this. This is just how it ends up happening. But there's just so much stuff to talk about. And if you guys appreciate listening to it, hey, that's fucking great. And that's all I really need. Thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.